What's up everyone, my name is HAN Han and I am very excited to do this camera comparison. Today I have this OnePlus 9, OnePlus Nord 2 and Vivo X60. Well, OnePlus Nord 2 is only released in India and Europe. OnePlus didn't release this one in China, so I had to do a lot of hard work to get my hands onto this OnePlus Nord 2. I have done a lot of hard work to make this camera comparison video, so I wish that you appreciate my hard work. Please click on the like button if you end up liking this video. Also, if you have any other camera comparison video request, I mean OnePlus Nord 2 with OnePlus 9R, Xiaomi Mi 11 or Xiaomi Mi 11X Pro or Oppo Reno 6 Pro, please make a comment and let me know. Please check carefully which smartphone microphone is working better, in which smartphone my skin tone is reproduced better. I think Vivo X60 is doing better. Also, almost all the OnePlus and Oppo smartphones have this exposure issue. Look at this. But Vivo is working perfectly well. Actually, color grading is better on OnePlus Nord 2. Please check by yourself, check carefully, watch through this video and let me know in the comment section which smartphone did better. Well, once again, if you end up liking this video, then please click on the like button and please subscribe to this channel. It's time to start our camera comparison video. OnePlus 9, OnePlus Nord 2 and Vivo X60. OnePlus Nord 2 is the focus of this comparison and that's why I have placed it in the middle. On the left that's OnePlus 9 and on the right that's Vivo X60. OnePlus 9 and OnePlus 9 Pro got 50 megapixel sensor underneath their ultra-wide lens, and that's Sony IMX766, which is the main sensor of OnePlus Nord 2. Nord 2 got a very poor 8 megapixel ultra-wide sensor which performs awfully worse than its true competitors. Do I have to mention and point out? Poor dynamic range, low details, a bit exposed, awfully high highlights, and yeah, that AI which we have on almost all the Realme smartphones for last few months, that only hurts the images in demanding situations. Overall, the result is OnePlus Nord 2 produced very average ultra-wide photos. Among these three, OnePlus 9 got the best ultra-wide shots, while Vivo X60 comes second. Okay, let's move on to the main camera. Yes, OnePlus Nord 2 got a Sony IMX766 50 megapixel sensor sitting on OIS. OnePlus 9 got Sony IMX sensor but without any OIS, and Vivo X60 got a Sony IMX598 48 megapixel sensor tagged with OIS. I have added iPhone 12 on the right. Let's check the performance. Dynamic range is obviously better on iPhone 12. OnePlus 9, Nord 2 and Vivo X60 dynamic range is similar, but all have occasional highlight clipping and exposure issues. iPhone 12 and OnePlus 9 has grabbed more details, but due to different type of algorithm, OnePlus 9 photos sometimes have this magenta cast and iPhone 12 obviously tries to beautify the sky and nature with added saturation. OnePlus Nord 2 tries the same, but color grading and tonal contrast is totally different. It looks more vibrant and eye-pleasing. I'm not surprised to see textures are processed with clarity on all the smartphones, but due to better shadows, sharpness and white balance, Vivo X60 looks true to life. OnePlus Nord 2 photos are sometimes overprocessed, and when AI is enabled, saturation goes wild. But I would say that's really nice if you require social media ready photos with infrequent level of details. I always say a lot depends on personal preference, as I prefer realistic color rendition, more details with well processed textures. I would go with Vivo X60 among these three. At the same time, OnePlus Nord 2 main sensor daytime photos are also rich in colors with increased ambience along with a bit artificial flavor. All these smartphones supports 4K. I have intentionally left OnePlus 9 out of this 4K video comparison because that one doesn't have OIS. All of these three here have OIS and EIS. However, field of view of these three smartphones is not the same at 4K. I have tried to shake the smartphones, but I do not see that much jelly effect, and both of these, Vivo and OnePlus, did very well beside iPhone 12. Truly, OnePlus Nord 2 records amazing 4K videos, super crisp videos with full of details, but iPhone 12 processed textures more efficiently. Dynamic range and color depth is also very lucrative on iPhone 12. I don't like the idea of that much saturation and too much synthetic processing on Nord 2. Other than that, overall video quality on this smartphone is the best in its segment. OnePlus Nord 2 and OnePlus 9 doesn't have any telephoto lens. You can clearly see these photos were taken at 3x. At a glance, you may not find the differences. Let us crop in and you can see there is a huge difference. Exposure, highlights, details, shadows, everything is better on OnePlus 9. Now, this is why I always love to have a good sensor tagged with a telephoto lens. Vivo X60 comes with a 13 megapixel sensor underneath its telephoto lens and offers 2x optical zoom. Look at that sharp image on the right. It's full of details and color grading is on the perfect line. These photos were taken at 5x zoom, both had to apply digital zoom. Actually, Vivo X60 applies digital zoom on top of its 2x optical zoom, and that makes the difference. I know some people out there would say optical zoom is not that important, but to me it's important cause it not only helps you to grab super sharp zoom photos, but it also helps you to get true 50mm portrait photos. Vivo X60 can take true 50mm portrait shots, while OnePlus Nord 2 and iPhone 12 takes portrait with its main sensor. If you consider the price and segment of OnePlus Nord 2, then actually it takes good portrait shots. But when you compare this with true competitors, it falls behind. Yes, Nord 2 grabs enough details with sharpness, but colors are obviously not true to life. Skin tone is a bit darker than usual, colors are rendered with high saturation and mid-tones. Bokeh effect is as good as other high mid-range or budget flagships, but sometimes it's hard to get the subject into focus. Occasionally, it misses the subject and you will get photos without any bokeh effect. Separation line blend is not as good as it should be, and sometimes edge detection is just awful. iPhone 12 rendered colors correctly but added fairness to the skin. Vivo X60 got skin tone correct but added saturation to color grading. After checking a lot of portrait photos, I have noticed Vivo X60 has the best edge detection algorithm. Subject and background separation is also better on Vivo X60, but depth effect is a bit too much by default. We have talked about portraits, but what about human subject in photo mode? Oh, if I forgot to mention, then okay, I have taken all the photos in auto mode with auto HDR, and yes, AI was also enabled. I am surprised. This is truly an outcome of ColorOS algorithm. You don't have to believe me, you don't have to take my words for it. But Oppo, OnePlus and Realme are actually slowly injecting all those good Oxygen OS algorithm to top tier Oppo smartphones. Oppo Reno 6 Pro Plus has almost all the advantages of Oxygen OS stock camera. And on the same time, they're injecting ColorOS algorithm to mid-tier OnePlus smartphones. Look at these photos. Way too much saturation, crazy amount of fairness added to skin tone, insane ambience and vibrance. I don't know, some people may like this for their Instagram, but not me. Vivo X60 did way better with better dynamic range and exposure, while iPhone 12 definitely has more details and well-processed textures. Finally, it's all about night mode, Nightscape or Nightscape 2.0, whatever the name is. These photos were taken in extreme lighting condition under darkness. I am surprised, amazed, and yes, at the same time, frustrated. OnePlus Nord 2 definitely has done better than its bigger brother, OnePlus 9. Nord 2 fought neck and neck with Vivo X60. Excellent night photos with incredibly well-managed exposure. Brightness and contrast ratio is also on the perfect line. Enough details, less noise, vibrance with good white balance. Altogether, this is what we may call perfect reproduction of the moment. Yes, OnePlus Nord 2 performed with authority. Vivo X60 also does the job well and actually has better focus metering with good details. But OnePlus 9 looks like an ordinary smartphone beside these two. I'm frustrated cause if OnePlus can do magic at night mode, then what's wrong with those daytime photos? Well, Vivo X60 also proven its class when we were taking these night mode photos and aircraft was flying on top of us. We had a few moments to grab a photo and only Vivo X60 could manage to get that aircraft in good shape. Definitely X60 has better exposure, aperture and shutter speed. Nord 2 night mode performance has really surprised me. I will sure do another camera comparison with this OnePlus Nord 2. You decide which smartphone I should compare with this OnePlus Nord 2. Please make a comment and let me know in the comment section below. Okay, I will leave these selfie photos and selfie portraits for you. You can check these by yourself. There is an international smartphone giveaway going on for the subscribers of this channel. If you are a subscriber to this channel, then what you have to do is to make a detailed comment describing which smartphone actually did better in selfie photo and selfie portrait. I wish you check carefully and make a comment describing which smartphone did better and why.